Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to our special webinar series today for the MBA application. It is an interactive workshop. So this is a special addition to our regular MBA webinar series. Before we get started, I just want to acknowledge that Athabasca University is Canada's online university and is proud to welcome a diversity of learners from all over Canada. We respectfully acknowledge that we live and work on the traditional lands of the Indigenous peoples of Canada, and we honor the ancestry, heritage, and gifts of Indigenous peoples and give thanks to them. As we gather today, Shannon and I, we are in 2D6, which encompasses 17 First Nations, including the Diné Suriné, Cree, Nakota Sioux, Saulteaux, and Métis peoples. Also, I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay. Actually, I should have started with that. My apologies. If you can hear me okay and you can see the screen, please send a quick message on the question box on your screen. Just type in a few words to make sure that you can hear me okay. So I'm just going to pause here for a minute. I'm just going to maybe ask Tiffany or Clemence if you can just type in, your acknowledgement that you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you, Clemence. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's great. And again, my name is Farid Nordin. I've been with Athabasca University for over 10 years now, coming in April. And my role has always been in recruitment, pardon me, or alumni relations, marketing, prior to recruitment manager right now. And joining me today is my colleague, Shannon LaRose, who's an academic advisor for the Faculty of Business. Hi, Shannon, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Looking forward to providing information on how to put together your MBA application package. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we have a special guest today, Dr. Ana Azevedo. Dr. Azevedo, or Ana, has been with us for many years, and Ana is the current MBA admissions chair. So therefore, Ana will be able to give you, real examples on how to best prepare your application for the EU MBA program. So this is a good opportunity for you to ask Ana directly should you have any questions about your application process. But we will go through we will go through this agenda today that you see on your screen. So we're going to talk about, I'll do a brief recap of the EU Online MBA program, the program structure, entry routes, application package, and if we have time, we'll do a demo of the application form and Q&A. Sorry, Ana, I didn't give you a chance to say hello. Good morning, Ana.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm sorry, I'm having problems with the camera, so I won't be able to turn it on, but I'm here to share some ideas and hopefully contribute to the webinar. Welcome.
Great. Thank you, Ana. So yeah, Ana, you brought a good point. So because of bandwidth, sometimes restrictions, I'm going to turn off my camera as well so that we can have a smoother discussions today. Before we get going to the when we start, I just want to remind those who are listening or attending the webinar right now, you can download a copy of this presentation, the slides, by going to the PDF section on your screen. So I've uploaded a PDF document with the slides, so you can download it and go through with it at your leisure, or just have it as a point of reference. You will also receive a copy of this presentation later on by email. So just to remind you that you can download the slides right now in the handout section. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, this is a special webinar. We had a more general EU MBA webinar last week, a couple of weeks ago, sorry. And you can check out the on-demand recording with Michelle Garneau by clicking on the link and select on-demand webinar, and you can hear that webinar as well. So here's a quick recap of the benefits of the EU Online MBA program. The first and foremost is the flexibility of the program, where our unique pedagogy and delivery is asynchronous, meaning you can do this program anywhere, anytime, without disruption to your studies. It is a full MBA program, 48 credits, full MBA program. So you'll be working with your cohorts and your coaches and interactive that way, because it is a full MBA program, but minus the commute, right? So you can do this at your own time. There are set schedules that you have to follow, but it is minus the commute, right? Because of the asynchronous delivery. Because we are an online or distance program, we do have students and professors from across Canada and internationally. So your discussions, your in each courses, you have more of a global perspective with similar business issues that everybody's trying to learn and help solve. So that gives this MBA program a bit more of the enriching experience, because of that global perspectives you get from your peers and from your coaches. Being an online program doesn't mean that you're working in a vacuum. We do have a highly supported environment, dedicated staff, team members to help you succeed in the program. So from our dedicated IT help desk team, to the enrollment advisors team, to the recruitment team, all the way up to the Dean of the Faculty of Business, we are here for you. So don't feel that you'll be working in a vacuum. We are here to support you and to cheer on your MBA journey with us. Last but not least, and another benefit of the program is that in phase 2 of the MBA program, you'll be able to make it your own. You can tailor your program either through the applied project, the electives, or you can choose to do the elective route, which can be based on your own interests and what you want to study to get the most out of this MBA experience. And here's another recap of the program structure of the MBA program. Our program is broken into 2 phases. Phase 1 consists of 6 foundational core courses that will grant you the graduate diploma in management credentials, pardon me, which is 18 credits in total. Phase 1 is about 14 months, and then you go into phase 2, where you do 4 more core courses, and then you have the option to do the applied project plus electives, or course-based electives route, as we say it, which is more focused on all electives. And I have to say that one of the electives needs to have an in-residence component. So what that means is that for a week, if you do an in-person, Monday to Friday, you have to be on location. It can be in the GTA area, in Edmonton or Calgary, depending on where the course is held at that time of year. So that's an in-person in-residence elective. We also offer a synchronous in-residence component, whereby you may have to take 3-4 hours a day to be with your cohort synchronously. So that is a part of the requirement of the program, that one of the elective courses has to be an in-residence component. And again, it's not the entire course, it's only some chunks of time that has to be done either synchronously or in person. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to post them or write them in the question box, and we'll try to answer it as we go along. Okay, moving on. So the program is designed, our MBA program is the MBA for executives. And what that means is that we do require applicants to demonstrate a significant level of managerial experience, because the program is designed for the mid-career level managers or higher. So if you are looking to enhance your career using what you already have in your career, so this is a good program for you, as it is to make sure that you have enough real-life examples to enrich the learning environment, the collaborative learning that you will get from your cohorts and your peers, and they will also interact with you. So it's not like a one funnel type of program. There's a lot of interaction. The collaborative learning is a key important point here. Another reason why management experience is essential to the program is that the program focuses on putting theories into practice. So what that means is that what you learn today, you can apply it to your job the next day, and the coaches are there to help you connect the dots, right? To connect the dots to make sure that you understand the theory, apply the knowledge, apply the theory to your day-to-day life, and then bring it back to the class environment or your cohort environment to discuss What was the outcome? Did it work? Did not work, and why? So that kind of level is what we our program offers. Yeah, and to be able to connect what you learn in a real world scenario and not just in theory. So important note here is that applicants are assessed to see if they are in a position within the organizations to contribute real life examples rather than hypothetical ones, and connect the managerial experience covered in the MBA courses in their daily work. So that management level responsibilities is a key requirement to be in this program. And so I'm going to then, use that framework for what Shannon's going to talk to you about the admission requirements for the program. Over to you, Shannon.
Thank you, Fareed. All right,
Welcome.
so I'm going to do a recap on our admission requirements for the program. So the first pathway that you can enter is if you apply with an undergraduate degree from an accredited post-secondary institution, along with at least 3 years of management experience. The second way would be if you come to us with a professional designation that we recognize, along with at least 5 years of management experience. And we have a complete list of the designations that we recognize on our website. The third way would be if you can come to us just based on your management experience alone. So you'd need to be able to demonstrate that you have at least 8 years of progressive management experience. And as Fareed just mentioned about the management experience, that can include managing either people, projects, or budgets. Okay. And there is also another route of entry, and this would be for folks that have a undergraduate business degree. So there are specific admission requirements for this entry. You must have a undergraduate business degree, such as a B Management or BCom degree within the last 10 years, a grade point average of 3.0 or higher for the last 60 credits, along with the 3 years of management experience. And if you think that you're eligible for that, I would recommend you look at our accelerated frequently asked questions. There's a lot of good information on there as well. All right, so managing, what is management experience? So basically, we're looking to ensure folks have experience in managing either people, managing budgets, or managing projects, or a combination of any of these. And so this is really important that you're able to demonstrate this in your resume, and quantifiable data is very important when you're doing that. So just following those bullet points, for example, if you're managing people, we'd want to know, how many direct reports you have, or if you manage a budget, provide the approximate or the range of the budget. And also, around managing projects, you want to be able to provide a couple of examples of significant projects, in each of your positions if you are managing budgets. And you can do that by just referring to those bullet points, just giving a brief description of the project, the value of the project, and so on. I'm just going to turn to Anna and just ask if you have anything that you want to add to this slide, any additional information?
Thank you, Shannon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
All right. Thank you. This is a very important slide. So as you prepare your resume, really pay attention that you address these bullet points, because this is exactly what the committee is looking for. Sometimes, and I add the information here, sometimes the person may not have a title that says project manager or director or HR manager, but in fact, that person's responsibilities are managerial. And that's the evidence that we will be looking for, number of direct reports, budgets, responsibility over projects, and so on. So, and the committee will be adding your years of experience based on the evidence that's in this slide. So just really pay attention to that. Yeah, that's my point. And based on experience, we have also received examples of resumes where the titles match, but the evidence is not really presented. And if that's the case, then the committee will send it back and ask for more information until we can really quantify these 3 points. Thank you, Shan.
Great, thank you very much, Anna. That's really helpful. All right. So I'm just going to give you what's required to apply. So your application package must include a comprehensive resume, a 1,000-word essay. There's also 3 letters of reference that are required, official transcripts if you're applying with an undergraduate degree, or a letter of good standing if you're applying with a professional designation. And there's an online application form and the application fees. So we're going to talk about each of these components right now. All right. Okay. So the comprehensive resume. So this is really the core of your application package. So it really has to be very clear of what your management experience is. And the resume for the MBA application is different than a job resume. So just going to go over some really important things that you want to make sure you include, and maybe some tips as well. So so we have it all outlined here, but I'm just going to refer to a couple of those. So you really want to make sure that you include the start and end month and years for each of your positions, because this helps the admissions committee calculate your years of experience. So sometimes we'll see resumes that just have the years on it, and that's not enough. So make sure that you include those start and end months as well. Also include, if you're part-time or full-time positions, sometimes people have, positions that kind of run along aside each other. So if you are working part-time in a position, it'd be really important to include roughly the amount of hours per week if it's a part-time position, just so, again, the admissions committee can understand how you're balancing those 2 jobs. Another helpful tip is just including just a brief description of the company that you work for. So just 1 or 2 sentences. And this just helps, again, the committee to understand where you work and how that ties to what your responsibilities are. So that's just an extra thing that you could add. And important also to add, who you report to. So just the title of the person that you report to as well. That helps them understand kind of where you are in that organization. Another tip is to just make sure to avoid using any kind of technical jargon or abbreviations. Not all committee members may be familiar with the industry that you work in, so yeah, try to avoid using that. And you just want to understand who your audience is, right? What else can I add to this? It's important to, provide, examples of your decision-making authority, when you're giving your, when you're talking about if you're managing people or the budgets or project management. So try to remember to give examples of your decision-making authority. Let me see here. I think that your education section. So that's really important to make sure that you include your education and the years that you earned your degrees. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else on this slide. Yes, I was going to turn to you, Anna, if you've got something else that you could add.
Absolutely, thank you. So I'm thinking about a situation and we do get a lot of entrepreneurs that apply for the program. So if you're self-employed, you can still demonstrate responsibilities, right? So some people don't have staff, they work by themselves. but they would have a budget that they work with. They have contracts, and at times also they work on projects. So all of these things would be considered as part of the title management experience. So we look at managerial experience in this context of managing people, projects, or budgets. And another point I want to add relates to the part-time employment. Yes, we do expect you to include the hours, but I just here want to share something that happens from time to time. Just be very careful with adding your hours and making sure that you're presenting to the committee a realistic picture, right? So you don't want to put so many hours in your part-time employment that when we add everything up, we end up with, you know, over 100 hours of work per week, right? So write everything down and then really make sure that you're presenting a realistic picture of your work commitments. And one last point,
yeah,
it relates to volunteer work. It is not the main thing that we look for in the resume, but we will consider, and there are many applicants that have significant responsibilities in their volunteer activities, and we will take that into account. Thank you. Thank you, Shan.
Thank you, Anna. That's a great point. And yeah, and just back to that point you made about being self-employed. So another example would be if you have your own consulting company, you know, you could include information on, you know, the number of clients you have and the value of your contracts and that kind of information is very helpful as well. So thank you. All right. And again, just as Anna related to, if you know, you can add in additional information if you have volunteer roles in the community, listing your memberships in professional organizations. And also it's important, you know, in your resume, if you've got the skills, management skills in risk management, stakeholder management, any of those that are listed, to make sure that you include that information. That's really important as well. So you've got a chance to talk, you know, to demonstrate your skills. So, all right. And for the resume, the last thing is, and most important, is we can accept a resume between 2 to 4 pages. So you do have to be pretty concise, but yeah, try to keep it up to, you know, within 2 to 4 pages and include all this information. So, all right. Okay, so I'll just pause now, and if anyone has any questions about the resume or anything that we spoke about earlier, happy to answer those. And free to let us know.
Yes, I will. I'm monitoring the question, John, and thank you. Okay. So far, nothing yet. So I think
nope. Okay.
we can continue. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, so we'll carry on. We'll talk about the essay. So you are required to submit a 1,000-word essay by responding to the following 4 questions. And the essay is just another good opportunity for you to showcase your management experience and tell your stories. So there's not any specific style for the essay. Just a couple of important tips is obviously you want to make sure you answer the questions, but proofread your essay before you submit it. Just you don't want to submit an essay with, you know, any typos, and also to stick to the 1,000-word limit. So you don't want to submit an essay that is 1,200 words or one that's 800 words. You want to really, you know, be as close to the 1,000-word that you can. So I'm going to turn to Anna, and maybe you can just talk about, you know, what is the committee looking for when they're reading an essay?
Thank you, Shannon. There are a few things we're looking for. First of all, and perhaps foremost, is the motivation to do the program, right? So that very first question there, assesses that and lets us know why you want to join. What does it mean to you in your career to be part of the program? We are also looking for a demonstration of your writing skills, right? This is the one part of the application where we can really see the applicant's writing skills. So we want to make sure that the ideas also are conveyed clearly. So you're communicating your ideas clearly. The essay is well written, and we can really see the motivation that you have to join the program, right? And the last point that I would like to add is we do look in the question number 3, what 3 experiences have had the most impact in the development of managerial skills and abilities in the positions you have held. We try to see what's the connection between what you're talking here and what you're presenting in your resume. So do take time to think about how these 3 experiences demonstrate what you presented in your resume, because they should be consistent, right? And the essay should add a little bit more nuance to the information you presented in the resume. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's really good information. Thank you very much. All right. We'll talk about transcripts next. So again, if you're applying with an undergraduate degree, we do require your official transcripts to be submitted from your institution. So we do use MyCreds now, and this is a rather new secure way to share your transcripts with other institutions. So if it's very quick as well. So if your institution is part of MyCreds, I would encourage you to use that. If not, they can also, you can ask your institution to email your official transcripts to us directly, and the email address is on this slide, fbgradenroll@athabascau.ca, or we can also accept them through the mail. So the address is highlighted there in yellow as well. So ordering your transcripts, I guess one tip for that is you can do this anytime before you officially apply. So we encourage you to do it early so that it's one thing checked off your list, and if we receive it early, just file the document and then match it with your application once you apply. So that's definitely one thing you can do early. And the same goes with the letters of good standing from if you're applying with an undergraduate, or sorry, a professional designation. So the same thing applies there. You can ask that organization to email them to us. That would be the preferred way. And again, if we get them early, we just file them and hold on to them for you. And if you are applying with the CPA or SCMP designation, you should also order your transcripts as well for those two. Okay, and for any international applicants, if you're applying with an undergraduate degree that was earned outside of North America, you may have to have that officially assessed. So you also want to allow time for that. So there is information on this slide on where you can get your degree assessed. That does take time, so hopefully you have allowed time for that if that's the case. All right, and I'm going to turn to Anna and just ask, sometimes we get asked, you know, people may have earned their degrees several years ago and are concerned about their GPA. Can you just talk about if that is a focus that the committee has when they're reviewing a transcript, or what are they reviewing the transcript? What are they looking for?
Thank you, Shannon. That's a very good question. No, not at all. We don't really focus on grades. We look at the transcript just to get an understanding of the types of courses that this person has taken, especially in the case of the accelerated route, then we will look even more carefully at the core elements of the program. But in general, we're looking for basically the background, the academic background. And grades are not really our primary concern. The only situation that we sometimes pause, and that, let me tell you, it's very, very rare, is when the grades are extremely low. An applicant has repeatedly failed courses and things of that nature. Then we may pause and think about that person's ability to go through a graduate program. But in many, many years serving in this committee, I can't even recall. I think there was one situation, but it's very, very rare. Most of the time, we are focusing on the background and the types of courses that that person has taken to just get a sense of the preparation, the academic preparation.
Yeah, and also obviously to confirm that they earn the degree is also when we get the official transcripts, right? That confirms the degree.
Correct.
So
Correct.
thank you for that. And yes, I should have qualified that. The accelerated entry is obviously the one area where the GPA is a required 3.0 or higher for the last 60. So yeah, the accelerated is different, a different type. But yeah, okay.
May I add? In the case of the accelerated, that's right. The GPA is a minimum of 3.0. And then we also have the so-called core courses, right? That person has to satisfy. But even in that, we allow an applicant that might be short in an area or not, or another, to take these courses and still, up to 2 courses, and still be accepted into the accelerated route.
Right, and that brings me back to, you know, if you feel that you are, you know, a good candidate for the accelerated, again, look at those frequently asked questions, because exactly what Anna's talking about is is laid out in those questions for the accelerated entry. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. Okay.
Okay, Shanna, I have a couple of questions here regarding transcripts. I think it's a good time to answer those questions.
Yeah.
Okay, the first question is, I have an undergraduate from 2020 and a diploma from 2000. Do I need the transcripts for both education experiences?
Well, we just require the undergraduate degree transcripts. I guess I could ask Anna if the admissions committee does like to see the diploma transcripts as well, or
only if the person feels it adds some information that it's valuable.
yeah.
It's not really a requirement. You're correct. The requirement would be the undergraduate degree transcript. But I find if I look back at applicants and what they've done before, that frequently a person will submit a diploma transcript as well. So I leave it up to you if you think it adds value to your application and it helps you present a more comprehensive picture of things that you have done and how you've used that in your career, then by all means do add.
And then also make sure that you put it on your resume as well. Include the diploma.
Correct.
Degree on your resume. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and also I think I'd like to add too, like if you qualify for the accelerated route of entry, then we do need to see all of your academic transcripts, right? Even if you have transfer credits, we want to see that as well if you qualify for accelerated. If you're applying for the standard entry, yeah, as Anna mentioned, if it's going to help the committee, then by all means go for that. If not, the bare minimum is undergraduate transcripts.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I have one other question, and I see a hand raised here. Let's go to the second question here. If applying to the professional designation pathway, then are transcripts not required, particularly if applying with the ISP designation. They also need to submit a transcript with the letter of good standing.
Which designation?
The ISP.
Okay.
I think that's the IT specialist designation, I believe.
So
yeah.
So do we recognize that? Sorry, Reed.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
So we just require the letter of good standing from that organization. Transcripts, not for that designation, no.
Yeah, I mean, if I think, then again, go with the policy that if you feel that can help the committee make a better informed decision of your application, I would suggest that you do submit that.
Me too. Yeah. I would suggest, because in this case, if you're just applying for the designation, with the designation, we don't have any other transcript. Again, the committee is looking for your background, and that gives us an opportunity to see what courses you have taken. So I would say, why not, right? Why not include?
Yeah, I agree with you, Anna. I think again, the whole purpose of what we're looking for this documentation is to really know you as an applicant, to make sure that you are suitable for the program and that you can be successful in the program, right? So from the academic rigor to the collaborative nature of the program to that sharing of your management experience, that's what gives you the overall picture of you as an applicant. Yeah. Another question here is this is an interesting one for me. Would a Mascowitch Cultural College undergraduate degree be accepted for the program? My undergraduate degree is a Bachelor of Indigenous Management. So I believe we do recognize the Cultural College undergraduate degree. I don't have the information right in front of me. I believe we do. And I believe it's the Indigenous Management, if it's a business type degree, and if you meet the accelerated route of entry, such as the GPA and managerial experience and the core courses covered, I would say yes. Anna, what do you think? It is a business degree. Yeah, I just got
confirmation. It is a business degree, but what I would add at this point, without knowing the specifics, what it says in our regulation is this: if you have a BCom or a Bachelor of Management, those are perhaps the most traditional business degrees.
Right.
It's an automatic yes. If there are other degrees that have management and business courses in it, you can submit your transcript and we will do the course matching, and we will identify if you're able to cover the key areas that we expect, right? So there will be a course matching process, which is done by our team, right? Yes. And if after that you can still cover most of the areas, then it would be accepted. If not, if you have, let's say, 4 out of the 6 core courses missing, then we would say, we accept you, but we cannot accept you for the accelerated route. So there will be a course matching exercises probably involved.
Yes.
In this situation.
Yes, thank you, Anna. And that means that you would have to pay the additional transfer credit evaluation fee, because for accelerated, that is a requirement for us to do that background work, as Anna mentioned, the course matching work. So there's that fee that is non-refundable, that is required. And you're right, Anna. If let's say the committee feels, yep, this is a good candidate for accelerated, then you get into the accelerated entry. If not, then if you meet the management experience, then depending on what it is, then you'll get offered the standard entry. So there's no guarantees at this point until you submit your official application with the transfer credit evaluation fee for the course matching.
May I add something at this
Go ahead.
point? Perhaps I should.
Yes.
We've had applicants before that submit applications for degrees that are older than 10 years, that are, which is the requirement, that is that up to 10 years, or that the GPA is lower than 3.0. And that for the committee is unfortunately a non-starter, right? So those minimum requirements for the accelerated route are an absolute must. There is no banding on that, unfortunately. That's just the regulation, right?
Yes.
So I do want to just put that out there as a word of caution, to pay attention to the requirements, because otherwise you just basically spending the money and not really having a real shot at the accelerated route, right? You can still apply under undergraduate degree, but you may not qualify for the accelerated route.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Anna. And I will put the link to the accelerated entry on the website. So so that everybody will have the information on the details of the accelerated entry. It's on our website now. I'll put the link momentarily. Thank you. These are great questions. So Shannon, are you ready to move on? Can we?
I am.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. So the next component is reference letters. So reference letters are an important part of the application, and we require either you submit 3 business reference letters, or 1 academic and 2 business reference letters. So whichever you prefer. We do have guidelines that you can give to your referees, and we encourage you to do that. This just helps them understand what to include in their letter. So that's a good important tip. And to reach out early to your referees. So people are busy, so you want to give them time to write that letter for you and submit it by the March 15th deadline. And they can, and it's right on the PDF, but they can email it directly to us, and the email address is there. If you're applying with a professional designation, you must submit 2 business reference letters plus the letter of good standing. So in that case, with a professional designation, it's 2 reference letters and then the letter of good standing. I wanted to just turn to Anna and just ask, you know, what kind of information, or what are you looking for as a committee when you're looking at the reference letters? And the importance of reference letters.
They're very important, because strong reference letters will help us decide many times. When there is a borderline application, for example, we want to see that again, it's connecting all the dots, right? That, for example, you have a reference from your boss or a colleague or a supplier in the case of an entrepreneur. And in that case, there is a chance for that person to really validate some of the things that you mentioned in your resume. For example, and we're looking at a screen now that says that your intellectual capabilities, your managerial skills, your communication skills, and that person has worked with you closely and can really provide evidence of that, right? So those reference letters are very important. I would say that it helps us connect all aspects of your application in many ways, right? Because it's a validation of what you discussed in your resume and sometimes also referenced in your essay, right? Yeah. So if a reference letter says you have good communication skills and your essay does not really show that, right, then we are wondering something is missing here. But sometimes we have a good essay and we don't have good reference letters. So the whole thing has to fit together. And so as a suggestion, I would say do take time in choosing somebody that you trust and that has really worked closely enough with you that can provide a good reference.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And that just leads me to, sometimes people will ask us, especially if they're self-employed, who can they ask, right? They can't ask the person who they work for if they own their own company, and they can't ask for, family or friends to write a reference either. So, so if you're self-employed, you could look to ask perhaps suppliers or vendors, clients, perhaps your accountant, your bank manager, or your partner, in the company if you have one. Those are just some ideas. And if you work for a company, you certainly would want to ask, who you report to or hire. You could also ask a peer or a previous employer, of course, as well. So again, what Anna said is just, take the time to just kind of think about who you feel, knows you very well and can write that strong letter for you. So, all right. I hope that's helpful information. And yeah, big tip, just reach out early. Give those people, the time to write that letter for you. So,
may I add one thing?
Yes.
I would really use these questions as a foundation, right? And sometimes if it's helpful, the applicant, either in their case of the academic or the business reference, can simply ask the questions and answer them. And sometimes I find that it's easier to write a reference like that than to just write an open letter that addresses these points, right? So many times we get references with the questions there and the answers next to it. So if it's helpful, you can just send the questions and tell the person, can you just go ahead and answer these questions for me? I personally have given references to many students, and I do it exactly like that because I find it's easier if I'm answering specific questions and making couple of paragraphs addressing each one of them, as opposed to having a full letter.
Yeah.
That it's more, you know what I mean? Like it's just more easily structured if you organize your answers around the questions. That's just a suggestion. However that person wished to address this, it's really up to the person.
Yeah, that's a great point, Anna. Thank you. All right.
Okay, Shannon, before we move on, there's a question here regarding reference letters. I did my undergraduate degree 100% online 5 years ago. I'm unsure who I could ask to write a letter on my behalf from my university. What do you suggest?
So that's a great point, and we do have folks that sometimes think that they have to submit an academic letter. So if you've been out of university for a few years, you're not sure the professor is going to remember you, you don't have to submit an academic reference letter. You can submit 3 business reference letters instead. So yeah, I mean, for the academic reference letter, correct me if I'm wrong, Anna, but I think for that one, you should know the academic very well, or they should know you very well to be able to write that letter, right?
Yeah. Correct. In most cases, maybe it's good to mention now, in most applications, we see 3 business references. We don't see an academic reference.
Yeah.
The normal scenario is somebody who just completed a degree and has a professor that they've worked closely with, then that person will submit an academic reference for them. But I want to say 90% of the cases we get are 3 business references.
Yeah. That's good information. So perfect.
Great, thank you. One more question here that just popped up. Are there specifics for the letter of good standing?
Are there specifics? It's really just confirming that they're a current member,
Right.
So, yeah, so there's not they're just confirming their status as in the organization, like a member.
Yeah, of that professional designation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the professional designation, the person that you contact will be familiar, because this is a request that they received often. They probably have something standard already prepared for
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all great. So I'm just gonna skip to the fees.
All right. So lastly, just talk about the fees. So there is an application fee of $233, non-refundable fee when you apply. And if you're accepted, you would be given a letter of offer. And if you choose to take that, there's a $913 program admission fee. So that's paid if you're accepted into the program. So those are the two initial fees paid. And then if you are applying with an accounting designation or the accelerated route of entry or the supply chain management designation, you do have to pay the additional $348 transfer credit evaluation fee, which is also non-refundable. So that's just an additional fee for those routes of entry. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Shannon.
I'm going to turn it back to you. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, questions. I think we've answered all in good timing, so I think that's great. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the box or use the raise hand function, and we can get to your questions. So this part of the presentation, I'm just going to do a quick demo of the application process. Should be able to just click on this. So again, all those links that you see on the screen are on your PDF to our website. So all the blue links you see are linkable. So as we talked about today, all the information is on the website, the format of the resume, your references, and this is where you can get the PDFs that you can forward to your referee with those questions, your essay, the 4 questions, your transcripts, where to send, all there for you to refer to. What I want to do now is I'm just going to show you a quick snapshot of the application form. The MBA program uses a separate application form than the regular AU graduate program. So if you're familiar with the AU system or undergraduate system, forget about that if you're applying to the MBA, because we do have a special form and portal for you to go to. So under the MBA application process here, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to put it in the chat, and so everybody can have that information. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining our presentation today. Appreciate that. So the online application form, you just click here, and you can, if you don't have a profile, that's fine. You can create a profile for you to start your application process. So it's going to take some time loading in. Okay, here we go. Let's see, it's coming up. So this is the application portal. So because I have an existing account, I can just log in at any time. So if you're new, you can create your account here by signing up. So for me, I already have everything signed up. I just want to quickly demonstrate to you some of the features of the form. Again, this is also on your presentation slides, so you can go through them yourself. I know that we only have a couple of minutes left here. So yeah, so this is the portal that you have to submit your MBA application or your graduate diploma management application or your accelerated route of entry. Okay, so it looks like it's taking some time here to load up. So I'm just gonna maybe not go through the full demo right now. Again, if you need help, we're more than happy to help you out. Just let us know. We can help you one-on-one. So I'm just gonna bypass this for now, and then just go through. Go ahead.
Can I add one point?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, you have that in this slide, so I let you complete it. Yes.
Yes. Is this what you want to address, Anna?
Yes, I wanted to say they can come back and complete and take their
Yes,
time. It doesn't have to be all at once, right?
correct. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because in this function here, you see you have the save and finish later button, so you can always save it and come back and complete your application. Hopefully before the 15th or by the 15th of March for the May intake. So yeah. So here's some key information. If you need technical support regarding the application portal, such as password resets, please email our IT help desk. We have a dedicated team there to help you with any password resets. The email is hdq@fb.athabascau.ca. Again, the IT help desk email is hdq@fb.athabascau.ca. And if you have submitted your application, which I hope most of you have, but if you feel like, you know what, I need to update my resume or, update my essay, you can always email our graduate enrollment advisors at fbgradenroll. That's fbgradenroll@athabascau.ca, and they can easily switch out your resume or essay before it goes for review. So if you feel like you need to update something after you've submitted your application, feel free to contact them at fbgradenroll@athabascau.ca, and they can help you out. Okay, just kind of wrapping up here. We have 3 annual intakes a year, the winter, spring, and fall. The next intake we're looking at is for the spring 2025 intake or May 2025 cohort, and the application deadline is March 15th, 2025. So that's just over a month before the application closes. I just want to also touch base quickly. I know this was discussed at length in our general MBA webinar a couple of weeks ago, so I would encourage you to take a listen to that as well. But this is just to give you a snapshot of the how to finance your MBA program with us. There are many different factors that you can look at, from self-financing, employee sponsorship. We do have scholarships and awards and bursaries, but keep in mind they don't cover the entire tuition. So you got to be a bit cautious of that because those will not cover the entire tuition. A lot of the time students do the self-financing route, approach your bank to find out the graduate study line of credit. Usually you don't have to pay interest on it until you graduate. So that's a great resource for financing. And also if you have funds in your RSP, you can withdraw it under the lifelong learning plan, which again, they don't charge interest until you graduate. So there's other options for you to think about. And if you are applying for study financial aid, keep in mind that your application fee, your admission fee, both are non-refundable, and also be prepared to pay maybe up to 2 of your MBA courses before your loan gets kicks in or you get reimbursement. So keep in mind that you do need to have those funds in your pocket or out of pocket until your student aid or financial aid gets approved. Just to wrap up here, if you have any questions about your resume or unsure if you qualify, feel free to send your resume for pre-assessment. Shannon and I are not on the admissions committee, but we can definitely give you feedback and guidance. You can email your resume for pre-assessment at business-support@athabascau.ca. Again, our email is business-support@athabascau.ca. And in closing, this is just a quick quote from our recent MBA grad, Michel Garneau, and he talked a lot about his transformative journey in our MBA program. So again, I encourage you to listen to our previous webinar that Michel talks really passionately about how the program helped him in his career and how it was transformative for him. Okay, with that, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for your time and great questions. Before we close today, I just want to make sure that you can email us at business-support@athabascau.ca. Again, our email is business-support@athabascau.ca, and our toll-free number is 1-800-561-4650, option number 2. Again, toll-free number is 1-800-561-4650, option number 2. Anna or Shannon, any last words before we end the session today?
Yeah, I just wanted to add quickly, you know, just what happens after we receive your application. Once it goes out to review, it usually takes between 7 to 10 business days, and you would be notified by email. So just thought I'd just add that in, just so people kind of understand kind of the approximate wait time, I guess, to find out if they're accepted. So, and
Thank
also just to thank everyone for joining us today. And if you think of any questions after our webinar ends today, you know, please reach out. We're here to help, and looking forward to receiving your application. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Anna, do you have any last words of encouragement for our
Yeah,
listeners?
just to say we have a very supportive team, and so don't be shy if you're concerned or unsure about anything.
Yeah.
Do reach out to the team, and they will help you out. So that's my last comment. Thank you, everybody, for participating.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anna, for your time, and thank you, Shannon, for the great information. And
Right.
yeah, have a great day, and we hope to see your application very soon.
Have a
Bye.
good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.